Jay-Z, you're just like Diddy. I can't stand your arrogant, condescending attitude. Nicki posted a video of you wearing a pink wig, and I retweeted it. Nothing more. You deserved it. Everyone knows about our feud. It's been going on for over 20 years. I've seen all your manipulation in the industry, from power struggles to cultural control. In 2015, when Tidal launched, Nicki helped you build it from nobody to a successful platform, and you immediately pocketed her $7.9 million in royalties. Lil Wayne was qualified for the Super Bowl, but you kicked him out of personal grudges. How is that any different from Diddy forcing his artists to sign unfair contracts? Just because Nicki didn't align with him, he resorts to this kind of suppression. You're truly despicable. What's even more interesting is that right after I showed him and his father's photo in the documentary Sean Combs' Reckoning, you immediately had your lawyer send me a warning letter saying I overstepped my bounds. When you wrote the lyrics to exonerate Diddy back then, why didn't you think about today? You say the film is malicious slander, but why don't you dare sue me for defamation? Because all the evidence I have is true. I haven't finished reporting the witnesses in my documentary, and I haven't released all the title profit sharing documents. If you know what's good for you, pay back what you owe Nicki with interest. Don't wait until I make Jay-Z Reckoning 2, by which time even Beyonce's PR team won't be able to save you.
Jay goes, let's get it straight. Nobody's afraid of 50 Cent.
I want everyone to be clear. No one's scared of 50 Cent.
At that point, his safe presentation, even the glasses, what the glasses represent? Intelligence, right? A nerd, maybe. What are some of the things that come along with you being a nerd? Like, don't hit a guy with fly. He's not identifying with the transition and difference and the perception of Jay-Z. Now he's really safe, and people feel comfortable with him because they know he's not going to do anything inappropriate or try not to. Meanwhile, when he's saying he's not afraid of 50 Cent, why would you have to make that clear?
The internet did not wake up ready for this kind of chaos. But the moment 50 Cent started dropping cryptic energy, the people instantly tied to Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z. BOOM timelines went into full meltdown mode. I'm talking confusion, shock, conspiracy theories, and reactions hitting faster than anyone could keep up. Because when 50 moves like that, people don't ignore it. They investigate it. Now let's be real for a second. 50 Cent doesn't just speak randomly. When he hints at something, when he posts something, when he reacts a certain way, the internet instantly goes into detective mode. What does he mean? Who is he talking about? Is this real or just trolling? And just like that, what could have been a small moment turns into a full-blown viral storm. And here's where it gets even crazier. Because now you've got names like Diddy and Jay-Z floating in the same conversation. That alone is enough to shake the internet. We're talking about figures with massive influence, long histories, and storylines that people have been speculating about for years. So when 50's name gets added into that mix, oh yeah, it's not staying quiet. Fans started pulling up old interviews, old posts, old moments that suddenly felt a little too relevant. People were connecting dots like they were building a documentary in real time. And the more they connected, the more questions popped up, because nothing felt clear. Everything felt layered. Meanwhile, reactions started pouring in from everywhere. Some people said this was just 50 being 50, trolling, joking, stirring the pot for entertainment. Others, they weren't laughing at all. They said this felt different, like there was something deeper behind it. And once that idea hit the internet, there was no stopping it. Memes started flying, debates started heating up, and suddenly everybody had a theory. Some wild, some believable, some completely out of control. But one thing was clear. Nobody was ignoring this. And just when people thought they had an idea of what was going on, another detail surfaced that made everything even more confusing. Whole situation didn't just blow up randomly. It built up like a slow burn storyline that finally hit the internet all at once. Before 50 Cent even stirred the conversation, there was already a long history of tension, commentary, and subtle moments involving Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z that people had been side-eyeing for years. But like always, nobody really paid attention. Until something loud forced them to look. At first, it didn't even feel like a big moment. It was just one of those situations where 50 dropped something, maybe a post, maybe a reaction, maybe a caption that didn't fully explain itself. And you already know how the internet works. It doesn't wait for explanations, builds its own. Within minutes, people were screenshotting, reposting, zooming in, and asking the same question over and over again. Who is he really talking about? Now here's where things get messy. Because 50 has a history of saying things in ways that aren't always direct, but are loud enough for people to catch on. It's like he doesn't spell it out. He lets the internet connect the dots. And once those dots start connecting, oh, it's over. Because suddenly, old clips, past interviews, and previous comments start resurfacing like they've been waiting for this exact moment. Fans went straight into detective mode. People were pulling up years-old footage, comparing statements, analyzing tone, trying to figure out if this was all connected to something deeper. And the craziest part? Some of those connections actually started making sense, or at least enough sense to keep the conversation going. Meanwhile, the internet split into two completely different camps. One side saying this is just 50 trolling, like he always does. The other side saying, no, this feels different. There's something more behind this. And once that split happens, you already know things are about to get loud, and let's not ignore the timing. It's because timing in situations like this is never random. The moment this started gaining traction, it felt like everything else paused just to focus on it. Every post, every reaction, every tiny detail started getting amplified like it was part of a bigger storyline. Then came the reactions from outside voices. Influencers, bloggers, commentators, everybody wanted to weigh in. Some were laughing it off, treating it like entertainment. Others were digging deeper, asking serious questions about what was actually being hinted at. And instead of clearing anything up, it made everything more complicated because now it wasn't just one narrative. It was multiple versions of the same story all existing at once. One version saying it's all jokes, another version saying it's layered, another version saying it's something the public doesn't fully understand yet. And the more versions there are, the harder it is to figure out what's real. At this point, the situation wasn't even about one post anymore. It became about interpretation. What it meant, what it could lead to, what it might reveal. And once the internet starts asking what does this mean, instead of what happened, that's when things escalate fast. And right in the middle of all this noise, no clear explanation dropped, no direct clarification. Just more silence. And more speculation. And that silence, it didn't calm things down. It's made everything 10 times louder. And just like that, the situation didn't calm down. It evolved into something way bigger than anyone expected. Because once the internet locked onto what 50 Cent was hinting at, it wasn't just a moment anymore. It became a full-blown investigation. Every word, every post, every past interaction involving Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z started getting dissected like it was evidence in a case. Now, timelines weren't just reacting, they were analyzing. People were pulling up old interviews, comparing statements, breaking down tone like they were experts in body language and subtext. Look at what he said back then. Why did he react like that? Suddenly, everything felt connected, whether it actually was or not. And once the internet gets that feeling, okay, it doesn't let go. And here's where things got really chaotic. Contradictions started showing up. Old clips resurfaced that didn't quite match the current narrative past. Comments that suddenly looked suspicious under a new lens. And you already know once the internet finds inconsistency, it runs with it like it just uncovered a secret. Meanwhile, 50 Cent didn't exactly step in to explain anything. And that silence? Oh, it made things louder. Because when people expect clarification and don't get it, they start building their own answers. And trust me, those answers were wild. Some said this was classic 50 trolling, stirring the pot, creating chaos just for entertainment. Others weren't convinced at all. He said the tone felt different this time, more serious, more layered. Like there was something deeper behind it that wasn't being said directly. and because there was no clear answer. Both sides sounded believable. Then came the memes. And listen, once memes enter the situation, it's officially out of control. People turned this into WWE-style storytelling. Dramatic edits, fake. Commentary, breaking news, graphics like it was a championship showdown. Others compared it to Marvel-level drama, saying this felt like multiple storylines colliding into one unpredictable moment. But the real chaos, it came from the insiders. Because, of course, once a situation reaches this level, suddenly everybody knows what really happened. Anonymous accounts started dropping vague statements, hinting at behind-the-scenes details, claiming there was more to the story than the public could see. No proof, no confirmation, but spreading faster than anything official ever could. And people, they were locked in. At this point, it didn't even feel like real life anymore. It felt like a scripted drama unfolding in real time. Every post felt like a scene, every reaction like a script, every silence like a setup for something bigger. Even people who didn't care at the start were now fully invested, because the chaos itself became the main attraction. And just when, it felt like things might slow down. Like maybe the conversation would fade and people would move on. Another detail surfaced, another reaction dropped, another moment that sent the entire internet spiraling. Again now, nobody was asking what happened. They were asking what's about to happen next. And just when it felt like the internet had reached its limit, the aftermath rolled in and somehow made everything even heavier. Because once the noise slowed down, not disappeared, just slowed, the real impact of what 50 Cent stirred up started settling in. What began as cryptic energy tied to Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z had now turned into a full-blown narrative where every reaction, every silence, and every assumption carried weight. Now the internet did what it always does, split into sides, and refused to budge. One group insisted this was classic 50 behavior, trolling, stirring chaos, and watching the world react. Another group, they weren't laughing at all. They believed this felt different, like something deeper was being hinted at without being said directly. And just like that, two completely different realities started trending at the same time. But here's where things shifted, because not everybody was entertained anymore. The memes slowed down, the jokes faded, and the comments started sounding different. This feels serious. This isn't just content. And that moment, that's when drama stops being fun and starts feeling real. Meanwhile, the silence between updates became louder than anything that had been posted. Every gap, every pause, every moment where nothing new dropped. It felt heavy. It felt heavy, like something was happening behind the scenes that the public wasn't seeing yet. And in situations like this, silence doesn't calm things down. It builds pressure. Then came the ripple effect, because situations like this don't stay contained. They spread. Subtle reactions started appearing from outside voices. Small comments, quiet acknowledgments. Indirect signals that showed people were paying attention even if they weren't saying much. And those small signals, added another layer to an already complicated situation. At the same time, the emotional weight started creeping into the conversation. Because behind all the viral chaos and dramatic reactions, there's always something. Deeper: reputation, legacy, perception. When names this big are involved, every word matters, every reaction matters. And even silence becomes part of the narrative. And just when it looked like things might finally calm down, like the internet would get distracted and move on, something small shifted again. A detail, barely noticeable at first, started gaining attention. Fans zoomed in, replayed clips, connected dots, and suddenly the entire conversation flipped. One more time now, people weren't just talking about what had already happened. They were asking bigger questions. Is this going to lead to something bigger? Is someone going to respond directly? Was this just the beginning? The speculation didn't slow down. exploded into a whole new wave of curiosity. And here's the twist that keeps everything hanging in the air. Nothing feels finished. There's no clear ending, no clean resolution, no moment where everything makes sense. Instead, it feels like a season finale that leaves more questions than answers. The kind where you sit there thinking, wait, that can't be it. So now the internet is stuck in that space between closure and anticipation. It's not fully calm, not fully chaotic. It's just waiting, watching, ready for the next move, whatever that might be. Because if that one detail everyone keeps whispering about turns out to be real, then this entire situation, yeah, it might just be the beginning of something even bigger now. Now don't just sit there like you didn't just witness the internet go into full meltdown mode. If you've made it this far, you're already part of the chaos. No silent scrolling, no I'm neutral energy. If you saw 50 Cent stir things up, you saw names like Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z get pulled into the conversation. Don't act like you don't have an opinion. Let's talk about it right now. Was this just classic 50 trolling the internet? Oh. Or do you think there's something deeper behind those hints that people aren't fully catching yet? Drop your take in the comments because this debate is getting loud and your opinion might just spark the next viral discussion. And don't even think about leaving without hitting that like button. Smash it like it owes you money. Like it. Just dropped a cryptic post and disappeared. Because every like pushes this story deeper into the algorithm. And let's be honest, this is the kind of chaos everybody wants to talk about. Make sure you subscribe too, because if you think this is where it ends. Oh, you're not ready? The way this situation is moving, another twist could drop at an eye second. And when it does, you already know we're breaking it down faster than anyone else. No delays, no missed details, just straight drama. Straight reactions, straight. Chaos. Turn on notifications so you don't come back late asking what happened, while everybody else is already deep in the comments arguing. This story is still unfolding, and if you blink, you're missing the next explosion. So go ahead. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay locked in because this isn't just gossip anymore. This is a full cinematic saga playing out in real time, and you already know where the real tea drops first. Secret scoop.